How many people know that iron is more sterner and harder than wood? Wood can get burnt by fire. And you said they're not going to serve Nebuchadnezzar. Well, all the people that you don't prophesy to, they actually are going to serve Nebuchadnezzar. Then the prophet Jeremiah said to Hananiah, the prophet, "Hear not, Hananiah, the Lord has not sent you, but you made these people to trust in a lie. Therefore says the Lord, behold, I will cast you from the face of the earth. This year you shall die, because you have taught rebellion against the Lord." So Hananiah the prophet died the same year in the 7th month. I was saying in the other video, you will know it will come to pass. Prophet Jeremiah said, you're going to perish this year. If you go back to 28 verse 1, in the 5th month, we know the 5th month to be May. Verse 17, when he said he died in the 7th month. So from May, the 5th month, to the 7th month, 7th month is July. So 2 months later, he perished, came to pass. That's how we know Jeremiah is a true prophet from God. It came to pass. We also know that he didn't say, oh, you're going to get blessed on the 7th month. He gave a word of the rod. He gave a word of the yokes was not broken from those people. They actually will serve Nebuchadnezzar. And because you told a lie on God, this is going to happen to you this year. And it happened. That's how we know Jeremiah was true and Hananiah was false. Alright, another one is chapter 29, verse 21. This is teaching y'all. God gave me this and I gotta pour it to those who listen. Verse 21. Thus says the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, concerning Ahab and Zedekiah, prophesy a lie to you in my name. Behold, I will deliver them into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, and he shall slay them before your eyes. And because of them a curse shall be taken up by all the captivity who are in Babylon, saying, the Lord make you like Zedekiah and Ahab, whom the king of Babylon roasted in the fire. So pretty much, do not trust in lying words. Do not trust in false prophet or prophetess who say they're from God, because not only will the blood be on their hands, the blood is going to be on the people's hands who listen to them or who suck up their lies. I'm coming out of Ezekiel 13, verse 2. Son of man, prophesy against the prophets of Israel, who prophesy and say to those who prophesy out of their own heart, hear the word of the Lord. Thus says the Lord God, woe to the foolish prophets who follow their own spirit and have seen nothing. God says it again, like a prophet just saying, oh, God said this and that. But God didn't tell them nothing. Like, they don't see nothing. They haven't heard nothing. They have a dream. They have a vision. God didn't speak to them. But they said, God said this. Like I said, it's not everybody. Because some people are true prophet and prophets of God. But not all. Verse 6. Therefore, thus says the Lord God, because you have spoken nonsense and envisioned lies, therefore I am indeed against you, says the Lord God. God just keep driving that point across, but that's all I'm going to get into. I know some people can listen and be innocent. That's why I say seek God for yourself, because if you just only dependent on listen to people say they're prophet or prophetess, then you will believe their lies. But if you seeking God for yourself, then when you hear those words from a prophet or prophetess that say they're from God, you'll be like, that ain't right. I remember some years ago, I could have been a teenager, walking somewhere to the store. Jehovah's Witness gave me like, you know how they like to get pamphlets out. And I remember they asked me a question like, who is the ruler of this world? And me, hands down, I'm like, I already know this answer. God is. And it was like, no. And they gave me the pamphlet. And they was pretty much saying how, Satan is the ruler. But from my eyesight, I would think like God is. And as I realized, the enemy is the ruler. But you see how the enemy tried to plant that deception in me at an early age. One thing about a Jehovah's Witness, and if a person that is in that, may they come to realize the deception in that and become a follower of Christ. You see how the enemy tried to plant that deception into me at an early age and seeded to me like, oh, okay, the ruler is the enemy. Okay, let me just dive into the philosophy of Jehovah's Witness, because they was right about that. One thing about it, I didn't know the word verbatim and different things I got wrong, but one thing I can't say, my grandmother, when she was living, she got me and my siblings, and not even just me and my siblings, my cousins too, she got us into church. We knew about Jesus Christ. Man, I knew everything. Also was like not really listening all the time and really in church, doing our own thing and stuff like that. But one thing about it, like, the word of God was always inside of us. So we wasn't gonna get fooled. Jehovah's Witness, because when she was a pastor, we went to her church, we went to other churches, and yeah, and then as I got older, my mom became Son of God. Now I know that, okay, even though the enemy is the ruler of this world, God said that we live in this world, but we're not of the world. If you're a follower of Christ, our home is in heaven. If you're born again, if you're a follower of Christ. So Jehovah's Witness, they did have a point there, but the words say present themselves as the angel of light. Certain people could pretend, and you're thinking like, wow, this is the true thing. Just like a document, things that you might want to hear, or things that seem legit. And it's like, okay, I'm reading the words, but in that fine small print that you can't see, or that you might pass by, or think that it's wrong because you read everything else, and everything else here like it line up. But in that small print, it says something that cause you to forfeit your blessing, or cause you to miss out on an opportunity. It's like, oh, no, I read the document, I signed it, remember, I see all this. But yeah, and they showing you with the magnifying glass. This say not if you sign this. This is void if you sign this. And you might say, I didn't know that. That's why you gotta read the whole thing. The exact same way when it says it presents himself as an angel of light. Of course, a person or a thing might seem legit, might seem like they're of God. But lo and behold, if you look long enough, and if you are a follower of Christ, it's like, something ain't adding up. So do not be that person that listens to false prophets or prophetess, because that blood will also be on your hand as well. And also too, if you are a prophet or prophetess of God, don't only give a word of encouragement. Don't have itchy ears. Don't listen to a prophet or prophetess that's false. And the way you will know that if you're seeking God on a regular basis as well. And don't be that person, if God do give you a word, it's like you only giving a word that you want to give. No. Sometimes you got to give a word of warning. Sometimes you might have to give a word that people don't want to hear. And that's okay. If it affects your watch time, if it affects your hours, if it affects your pay, just do it. God's going to reward you. Like, he's going to bless you for that. So you got to look at it. As long as you're doing the will of God, it don't matter if your watch time gets lower. It doesn't matter if your pay get cut. It doesn't matter if there's lesser money from YouTube because people are not really watching your material. God's going to bless you from other avenues as long as you continue to do his word, do his will. Stop focusing on the wrong thing, because that's what a lot of people do. They don't take heed and they focus on the wrong thing. They try to please people, then please God. And the blood's going to be on your hand too. So don't be that person. Don't be a false prophet or prophetess. Do what God say. So that's pretty much all. Stay tuned. Y'all like, share, and subscribe to my channel, y'all. Y'all have a blessed day.